So a few years ago, when I was still first learning how to get out of auto and into like some more manual settings with photography, trying to learn my camera a bit better, I turned to YouTube, because YouTube obviously still does, but back then it had a ton of like tutorials. Folks would get on there and just show you how to use your camera if you were willing to learn, and I was. But one of the channels that I watched a lot was one called Digital Rev TV. It's not around anymore, but they would show you just, you know, a bunch of camera reviews. They would show you a few basics. And one of my favorite things they did, though, was a cheap camera challenge, where they would invite a professional photographer on and give them like a really super cheap camera, like a toy Barbie camera that's like 1 megapixel or something like that. One of the things I've been doing here lately is just getting really bored of just the same old, you know, just taking my Canon out, getting a few shots, taking it home, putting it on the Lightroom. I haven't really been getting into it in the last 3 months or so. So I really love photography, though, and I really want to get back into it. And I thought, you know, what would inspire me to get out and shoot again? Because I haven't been doing it a lot lately. And I thought, you know, Digital Rev used to do those cheap camera challenges, and I've got about, I don't know, so many, just a whole drawer full of just cheap cameras I've been given over the years. And I pulled out the drawer and I was looking at it the other day, and one really stood out to me. It's this one. I don't know why this one would stand out to me amongst just a bunch of brown, black, and gray, dull-looking old cameras. I don't know what it is about this one, but it really stood out. So I grabbed it and started looking at it, and it is fully functional. It's a lifelong 35mm camera. It's made in China. I know nothing about it other than that, and that it's fully functional. It has no settings, no manual settings. You get what you get. One shutter speed. I assume that it is around 1/80th of a second. There's one aperture. I have no idea what it is. I assume it's around f11, f13, something like that. It takes 35mm film. It's all plastic. It works, though. That's what matters. So I'm going to get out. I'm going to shoot a little bit today. I am currently just driving through the town of Heinman, and I've got nothing really in mind on what to shoot other than what I'm going to shoot with, and that's the camera and this film right here. So this is a film photography project film that I've had on the shelf for several years. It's a Derev Pan 400, if I'm saying that correctly. 400 speed film, as the name indicates. It's black and white. There's 36 exposures on it. I really wish there weren't 36 exposures on it, because I'm probably going to run through a few frames that I normally wouldn't, just to get through the film. I'm really excited about it, though. I really like shooting with these cheap old cameras, these old film cameras, sometimes some old digital cameras, and hopefully I'll get to do that pretty soon too. But yeah, that's where we're at for now. That's what we're going to do, so let's see what we can get with it. So that was that, and you're hearing me in voiceover rather than the audio I recorded while driving because, well, sometimes things don't work out like you expect them to. So it goes. All I really said was that the camera shot about like I assumed it would, and that I'm a lazy man and plan to slip into some old footage of me developing film because I didn't want to fiddle with setting up a camera for and recording that B-roll this time around. So here it is. I also predicted soft images with not much detail, but maybe a little bit of character would come through in the photos. And I wasn't much wrong about that. Most of the images are pretty dull, but that had more to do with the subject matter and what I was able to pull from the scenes, rather than the camera and or film. And while there were a couple of scenes that I really enjoy looking at, I don't expect I'll ever shoot with this camera again. I've actually since returned it to its home in the dark confines of the cheap camera drawer. But if nothing else, it provided me with a fun morning of photography, and maybe that's what I needed anyway. Cheap or not, expensive or not, I think that made it worth the while.